Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about a day late or something, I think, because I didn't really know what to make a video about, and to be honest I'm kind of just winging this because I just didn't know what to talk about. But I figured I'd been thinking quite a bit about my previous video. I talked about that I quit my job because I was having a bit of a problem there and it was affecting my mental health, and it made me think, I suppose, about kind of interacting with people in general. And I realised that I am a sensitive person, and it kind of got me thinking about how, to be honest, if you're a sensitive person, it's kind of a struggle to, I suppose, cope in the workplace sometimes, and in general with social interactions sometimes. So I'm a sensitive person, and by that I mean, obviously, when people think about people being sensitive, they often kind of think of someone being, easily upset or offended by things. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't say that I'm easily offended by things or that I get easily upset, really. When I talk about being sensitive, I mean more in the sense of I'm constantly aware of other people's emotions and kind of reactions and the overall mood and vibe that we've got going on in the room, when there's people around. Which is why in the workplace, because obviously you have to be around your work colleagues all the time, every day, for like 8 hours. And if your work colleagues are in a bad mood, or for me at least, I instantly, when I walk into a room, I can kind of gauge the mood and how everyone's feeling. I always pick up on that. I'm very sensitive to that, and that instantly has an impact on me, because basically I kind of absorb other people's energy and it affects me. So when I say sensitive, I mean more so in that sense. It's more like I'm more affected by how other people are feeling than anything else. So if people insult me, obviously I don't like it, but it's kind of like, okay. No one likes to be insulted, but I wouldn't say I get super offended and feel the need to clap back necessarily. There's nothing wrong with people that do that, but I'm just kind of like, well, that's your opinion, whatever. But if it's I'm very sensitive to how other people are feeling, and I hate the idea of having offended someone else or upset someone else. And so if someone is in a bad mood or upset, then I'm kind of prone to wondering, oh, is it something I've done, or have I upset them, or something like that. And then I try and kind of think back. So in the workplace, obviously, I kind of worry, oh, I messed up with that this morning. Has that frustrated them or pissed them off or upset them or something? Or, so I worry about those things. And then I think there's a lot of people like that. And then you've got people that kind of are the opposite, and on the surface at least don't seem to really worry about other people's emotions that much, and kind of just, they're more kind of focused on their own emotions and kind of just vent it out to people, or they're not really thinking about the implications of what their venting might have on other people. And when I say venting, I don't mean expressing your emotions, I mean taking it out on other people, essentially, in a fairly negative way. if people take out their emotions on me, I try and think about it in a sort of logical way, like, okay, it's not about me necessarily, it's just about how they're feeling, but that definitely has a negative impact on me. I struggle with that as well. But yeah. I think as well, the other thing is, if someone's being mean or horrible to you, or to me at least, I can deal with it if it's like one instance and I'm not really going to see that person again, or I don't have to be around that person much at all. I'll obviously avoid them. But if I can't, that's essentially how I cope with those things. I avoid them. I'm like, well, I don't want to be around you then. But if I'm forced to stay in a situation where I have to be around them all the time, then that obviously affects me. As it would. I think that if you're forced to be around someone all the time that's upsetting you, potentially even insulting you and being just horrible, then that affects you a lot. But anyway, so yeah, there are positive aspects to being a sensitive person, because I think if you're sensitive to other people's emotions and moods, you tend to have more empathy. You tend to be more considerate as well. But it can also have, and I suppose I'm usually more focused on the negative aspects of it, really, I guess. I should probably try and think more positively about it, because there's definitely positive aspects to being a sensitive person, but I'm usually more focused, or especially recently I've been more focused on the negative aspects, because in this job I was in, because I'm a sensitive person and I'm constantly I easily pick up on other people's emotions, it was having a negative impact on me in that job. And so when, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, when when you're in a situation where your traits are having a negative impact on you, you can only really think about, you mostly think about those traits in a negative way, but they're definitely also positives. But all personality traits have a positive and negative aspect to them, literally all of them. Because, for example, people that aren't as sensitive to other people around them, it probably, the negative there is that they might not be as considerate, and they might lash out on people a bit more, and definitely be more perhaps more focused on their own emotions. But that does also mean that they're probably less likely to bottle things up, and are less likely to, and probably, if they were in a situation that I was in at that job, they probably wouldn't have put up with it for as long as I did and gotten out of that situation quicker. So there are positive aspects to every trait, even if we view them negatively. There's always like a positive and negative aspect to everything. But anyway, that's the other thing. Bottling things up. If you're a sensitive person and you're often quite concerned with how other people are feeling, and the other thing is, I struggle to kind of tell people if I'm upset or I'm going through something. And it's not necessarily that I don't have people around me that I don't feel like I can open up to. It's more so that I just struggle to open up with people in that way, because first of all, for some reason, I have this thing where I think I just need to try and just deal with it on my own. Second of all, I feel like I'm kind of bothering people, and I'm like, oh, well, we're all in a good mood. I don't need to bring that up. We're having a nice time at the minute. So, yeah, there's that. And I'd say in general, I can deal with things fairly well, but obviously with a situation like the job I was stuck in until recently, it's yeah, I'd bottled that up for too long, and to be honest, I wasn't even really opening up with my parents or friends for quite a while about how much it was bothering me or affecting me until a few months ago. And then I still hadn't opened up with anyone at work about it, which obviously the issue is at work, so I needed to kind of open up at work about it and try and sort the issue out, because if you just bottle things up, those feelings are just going to stay there. They're not going to go anywhere. No one's going to know how you're feeling. I think that's the other thing is, if people don't know how you're feeling, then nothing's going to change, nothing's going to happen. So that's something I also need to kind of work towards, is just opening up more about how I feel. But yeah, it's a struggle if you're a sensitive person, because it feels like you're kind of just paying way more attention and worrying about how other people are feeling than other people are, you know, and you kind of going through life. I wouldn't say that it gives me like anxiety, you know, but I do kind of dwell on how people reacted in certain social situations sometimes, which I think, to be honest, all of us do. I also had social anxiety as a teenager, I'm pretty sure, because literally any social situation whatsoever would make me extremely anxious when I was in my teens. I kind of, I suppose, grew out of it a bit, or at least I started managing it a lot better as I've gotten older. And also since we moved, because I didn't grow up in the UK actually, but I'll probably make a whole video about that. Because growing up in a country where you're labelled as a foreigner, your whole upbringing does have an interesting impact on you, I would say, both positive and negative. There's positive impacts to growing up abroad and negative ones, just like there's positive and negative aspects to everything in life, really. So yeah, I don't really know what this video is about or what the goal of it is. I kind of just turned the camera on and started talking. That's what this channel is going to be like. It's just going to be me rambling about stuff aimlessly, because I don't really plan these videos. I think, I'd like to make a video about this topic or that topic or something like that. But I definitely don't write scripts. For one, I don't like reading off a script. I like to just, let things flow more so, but I should probably write bullet points, like, okay, we're going to talk about this and then we're going to talk about that, but I don't even do that. Maybe I should. I definitely should. Let me know if you're also a sensitive person, you can relate to anything I said in the video, because it's kind of a struggle and it's tiring. When I'm at work, I can sometimes come home feeling emotionally drained. Sure, you feel kind of drained anyway if you're working a job that kind of demands that you use quite a lot of your mental capacity. But then also, if you're a sensitive person and you're kind of very aware of other people's emotions, I try and block it out. I try to, at least, because it's very tiring. It really drains you. It drains me. And then there's the fact that I'm also an introvert, so I'm not like the most sociable person anyway, and social interactions drain me anyway. Introvert and sensitive person together is like the most draining combination ever in a social situation. If you relate to any of that, let me know, because I'm actually really happy. I actually get quite a few people leave comments in my videos, which I never expect, because I just ramble at the camera, and then there's people that are like, oh yeah, I know what, I feel you, and then they kind of, you guys talk about your experiences in the comments, and I'm like, but I really like it. It's really nice. I always read all of them. I know I don't respond to all of them, because I actually get quite a lot of comments, surprisingly, and a lot of them are quite long, and I don't always know how to respond to them, but I always read all of them. Also, I asked in my previous video about video game content, and I've decided I'll make a separate channel, which I haven't made yet, and I don't really know what my first video will be on my second channel yet, but I am going to make video game content because I like to kind of I like these videos that I've been making, but also I'm very passionate about video games, and I get quite excited about stuff like that, and I like to talk about it as well. So I need an outlet for my video game obsession. Thanks for all the supportive comments I had in my previous video. A lot of people were really, really, really nice. I wish all of you the best. Sounds like a lot of us have kind of struggled, been in shit jobs, or, you know, been in kind of shitty situations and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully moving forward things will be more positive and better for all of us. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.